What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hold Husband podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me today. I got my man, Jay Bob on the bill. What's up with you, bro?
Not much, man. Glad to have everybody back for today here. But want to quickly remind you can catch us on TikTok as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Us a Podcast. And for those interested in promos and shout outs, shoot us a DM on IG at Hold Us a Podcast, as well as email us at holdusapodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
We got our man SD in the building. What's up with you, man?
Nothing, man. Excited to get this on the road so we can get back to fantasy football. So, let me give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold a Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I'd like to remind everybody that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on core94.com. Now, today's episode is titled Gauging Success. So we're going to be having a conversation about how you can actually evaluate success and failure when it comes to dating and relationships. So I think that'll be pretty interesting. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen trending or that it went viral. And we got a couple interesting videos. This first one is probably going to be tough to hear for a lot of parents. But it's in regards to when, at what age, and when it's appropriate to start discussing sex and all that with your children. Let's take a look.
When did sex first come up? Like, did you grow up like your mom was open about? Because in black homes, it's taboo to talk about.
Here's the thing, and I always tell people you need to have those conversations with your kids way younger than you expect.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what age do you think?
By middle school, you should have already had that conversation.
True, because that's when we're kind of learning.
Some people think that that's crazy. I'm telling you right now, these kids in middle school having sex. Okay, wow. They having sex, or either they friends having sex, they talking about sex, especially now the internet, they over here showing each other stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
I was finding out things through my friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you don't want their friend to be the one that tells them about sex.
Right, no.
You know what I mean?
That is so true.
No.
And being realistic, like, hey, I know these urges are going to come up, your hormones are going to start changing, and I do want my children to be able to come talk to me, and we can have open dialogue about it so they can, one, be healthy, but also protect them and give them the other consequences that come along with it.
Now, as a former middle school teacher, I can attest to everything that she said. I was amazed at the lifestyle that those middle school kids lived. Because to me, the best way for me to explain it, it was like kids, the middle school these days are the equivalent to what high school students were doing in the 90s.
Wow.
Because a lot of them, they failing a grade ain't a big deal. Like, that used to be something we would be embarrassed about. So I was teaching 8th grade, and I had 15 and 16-year-olds in my class. I had students that with driver's license. Some of them kids drove to school. You know what I mean? Like, so I had students with multiple kids. You know what I mean? Like, so she's right. It's you will be surprised what your kids hear about third party, and especially with smartphones, they can look at porn in their bedroom. They can access these things on their own. So you do have to at least have, in general, conversations, probably around 12 or 13, I would say.
Yeah, so with me, I think I started with my older boy at like 13. And it wasn't because I was really thinking about him doing something. It was because I didn't want him to end up like I did. That was really my motivation, because
makes sense.
I knew how tough it was being a father at 18 years old for me. And I didn't want him to go through it, because I became a father before I became a man. So it was a lot tougher in that type of dynamic, because I'm learning two things at once. I'm learning how to be a father and a man when I was still kind of a boy. I was still in high school, boyish mindset, all of that type of thing. So my thing with him was, hey, you can have a baby, right? You do not want to have any babies as a young man. Get you a wife, get married, find you a good girl. And fortunately for him, that he listened. 26, no kids, about to start through with his career and all these here things. So he listened to it. So I'll employ the same. I'll employ the same type of thing with my youngest son, who's 12, who'll be 13 next year. So that's
what's up, man. Good job.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, you know what? I think she has a valid point there. You know, I guess you got to start having that talk with your kids earlier, just because of, you know, how times have changed now, right? Everyone's got a smartphone. Everyone's either got an Android or an iPhone. So they have access, you know, to porn right there on their phone. You know, back in the day, you know, we would, you know, sneak with, you know, VHS tapes, you know, for I was always watching porn back in the day, right?
Or a magazine.
Had to go diving, baby.
Yeah. You know, somebody in your class had one or something like that, and that was always watching porn or seeing, you know, naked women. Now you have it right at your phone, and hell, I'm sure you've seen it. You know, when you taught, Terry, right? People sending news through their cell phone.
Oh man, it's a problem, you know, because that's, you know, sexual minors sending sexual contents, sexting and all that can result. That does result in charges and statutory rape, man. It, you know, the middle school world is really crazy these days because, like you said, like you had, what is it, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, right? So if you got a 6th grader that's just on a normal path, they're 11 sometimes, and then, like I said, you have 16 and 17-year-olds still in middle school in America. So that's a large gap, 11 to 17. So the conversations, the rumors in school, the stuff that take place, the people getting caught. I mean, like oral sex is not taboo in middle school these days. Like
it used to be when we was in school.
It used to be. It is part of their normal life. You know what I mean? Like so. Again, I think it's a lot of kids don't have the ability to just kind of randomly have sex like we did, to where they got Ring cameras, they got smartphones, so you can track your kid and monitor them more to a degree. But you know, back in our day, from 3:30 to 5:30, you could be at a girl smashing a chick in her mom's bed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep. So whoever had the free crib.
Hey, Terry, how old is your daughter?
She's 15. She's about to be 16 in December.
I know. Now, y'all have had a conversation. Somebody has had a conversation with her. Do you leave that to your wife since it's your daughter, or have you had these conversations also?
I've had conversations with her about how boys view her and how boys are going to approach her. You know what I mean? Like so. She doesn't seem to grasp the idea of how physical attraction is giving her an advantage and why boys respond to her the way she. I'm like, man, you a varsity cheerleader. Like you got, you're like, I'm trying to get her to see how the boys view her, because she's like, man, they act all nervous and they, you know what I'm saying, like they goofy, they like that one dude, you know, he tried to do the reverse psychology. He was telling people she like him, you know what I'm saying, so it's different these days, but I try to give her that perspective on how guys that find you attractive are going to approach you. So, but I haven't got graphic with it yet. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I understand where you're getting at with it. So, I mean, it's a delicate thing, I would think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, now we not in the hood or nothing to where she got friends that are pregnant or nothing, like, so she don't know what it's like. You know, I think for me personally, my cousin got pregnant at 15. So, you know, we're 2 months apart. So I was always very paranoid about pregnancy and becoming a teen dad, which is why I mentioned before my tendency to lean towards oral sex was kind of strategically done to minimize that reason. But you know, talking birth control, like it's scary because I'm in my mid 40s, but I know people that are grandparents already that are, you know, that are my age.
Some in their late 30s.
Yeah, man, I can't. That's what I can't wrap my head around. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so,
Yeah. Bro, I was looking at a video on social media on Instagram where the girl said she had 3 kids by the time she went to high school.
I saw that.
That's
By the
insane.
time she started
Yeah.
high school, I was like, what?
But-
you know what I mean? But that's a lack of guidance too in the home. Like, how in the world do you allow
And you know
that?
what?
Go ahead.
And that's the, I think in your situation, it would be a great case study, right? You became a father at 17 years old before you were legally an adult, right? And, instead of continuing the cycle, you went and sat your older son down and said, hey, look, I don't want you to make the same mistake that I did at 17 and having a child, and even people, more credit than people give it to, the process of a boy becoming a man, even when you're 18, it's people really, you don't really start coming until your mid 20s, even late 20s, even early 30s, where you start really learning how to
Understanding it.
Yeah,
man, you did a great job to say you was a teen dad, and the position you got your sons in, what you've done with your own life and your career. You would never. I mean, you definitely defy the statistics that typically come with that scenario. So kudos to you, man. I think that's something that other boys need to look up to and try to model their life after.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Man, this conversation, this reminds me of a post that I had put up a few months back where somebody had a question about their teenage daughter was asked them for a sex, like a rose or something like that. And they asked me, what would I do? And I'm like, man, I would much rather my daughter be masturbating in her room than sneaking a dude in my window. You know what I mean? Like that's, I know it's tough to think about your kids in that kind of way, but I was about 15. I had already had a threesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
I couldn't do it.
What I was doing with girls at 13 and 14 and convincing them to do back then, my perspective on it is, and like I said, and me being a teacher and hearing their conversations and seeing what go on, I'm not oblivious to the real world. So I wanted to get y'all thoughts on it. Well, you got boys, so I'm pretty sure they use socks or whatever they use. But what are y'all thoughts on if for a girl doing that?
You know what? That's a tough one because, like you said, you don't want to imagine picture, your daughter asking, but like you said, I guess you gotta pick your poison here. What would you rather, sneaking a guy through the window or back door or whichever when you're not home, or her using that rose? If you had to back me into it and I had to make a choice, it would be the rose over that.
Well, that's the thing. It really ain't your choice, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kids can get things. They can, like, they have access to money. They get money for Christmas and things of that nature. They have older siblings. They can get this stuff without coming to you. So if your child has enough trust in you to come to you, especially if they initiate the conversation about something sexual, don't ruin that relationship by penalizing them or acting like they tripping for having those desires like that. Because you don't. If you do that, you never gonna get that opportunity again.
Right, and it's like you're trying to suppress, something that's natural. Sexual urges are natural. So now you're kind of trying to suppress that. And I think honestly, there's no way to really, prevent them from having, because you could tell them 100 times, don't do this, don't have sex. You don't need to be having sex. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna find a way to do it anyway.
Hey man, let me say something real quick. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart, man. I'm glad I got boys. I'm glad I got boys. Listen to me, it's so much easier. I ain't got to worry about that. Like, I couldn't imagine buying my daughter a rose because I don't want her to go get pregnant. Like, listen, no, because not even just the fact that it's imagining you being like that, doing that to yourself, but it's also a lot of health implications that are involved with those that are not talked about out in the mainstream. A lot of women have problems with sensation. They numb themselves with those. Yes, this is proved. All you gotta do is look at the studies, or even I took my own surveys asking the women if they use these here frequently, did it mess them up? And 75-80% of women said yes, I had to stop. So it's more than just that, because people can become addicted to those things, the feeling, especially for a young kid that ain't never probably had an orgasm before. I remember my first one when my first time beating off, man, I beat off 7-8 times that day after I felt the voice. And I was like, oh Jesus. But I was tearing this sucker up every day. I'm telling you, yo. I swear to you, I had a bag of ice on my tongue, like Martin, like,
it does. It is addictive. That's what I'm saying.
That's
like
what I'm saying.
To learn to manage it,
I know, but what do you think you're gonna do to a young teenage girl, giving her something like that also has not only implications as far as sensitivity, but also the electromagnetic things that it does to the body too, that you can Google and research. Yes, because of what it's doing to their body. Yes, I'm telling you, look this stuff up. They will become addicted to it, and now you got a real issue on your hands when it comes to them toys. So I'm just glad that I got boys, and this is all they need. This all they need right here.
Right.
That's it.
All right, man. Let's keep things rolling, man. Now, this is a real interesting conversation.
Absolutely.
This next post that we have is another viral video regarding women refusing to go on these places for first dates. Let's take a look.
Okay, places women refuse to go on a first date. This list is actually nuts. Sports events. I love me a good basketball game, football game. What? The gym, church. What? Who? Bowling? I love bowling. I don't know if this list is new or old or whatever, but it is actually diabolical. Now, I love any type of interactive first date because, especially if you don't know the person, and I said this before, if I never met you before, this is our first time spending time together. A sit-down dinner at a fancy restaurant is not going to cut it for me. That is so awkward. It doesn't give you a chance to talk freely. You're probably not in the most comfortable dress attire. I think something more chill, something where it's competitive, where you just naturally have to move your body, talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? So something like bowling or sporting events, that's a perfect first date because you're not sitting forced to, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, now I have a very strong feeling, sisters from our generation, because I agree with everything that she said, and she seemed to be very reasonable about her first date expectations. So these younger generations, they expect you to take them to the moon and the stars just to be able to get some of their time. Looking at that list and all those different things, the only thing that I saw on there that I don't think women will object to was taking a woman shopping. That's the only thing that seems like will pass the test. Yeah, that's the only thing that women ain't gonna complain about, because it was like everything else on the list that you would think to do that would allow like to do everything she said: interact, laugh, in assess the physicality, the mutual attraction, all those type of things, flirt, all the stuff that makes dating fun. But I think one thing that kind of throws us off is most places there aren't really places to dance. Like, one of my favorite movies, Love Jones, they first interaction, they went to the dance spot. You know what I mean? Like, so that allows you to get a much better vibe with somebody that you had an interest in back in our day. So, but this list is crazy. What y'all think?
I think that some of these places I wouldn't take a chick. Personally speaking, I wouldn't take a chick to Applebee's. I wouldn't take her to IHOP. I wouldn't take her to Chili's. Like I wouldn't take a chick to Olive Garden unless she suggested
likes
it.
it.
Nobody's gonna suggest Olive Garden.
I know, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like some of these places, I can complete Waffle House. Like
Some of it is reasonable. You're right.
Yeah, but some of these other ones, cheesecake, the movies, bowling.
Well, I wouldn't go to the movies.
I
That's
wouldn't be
a
on
high
the first
school
date.
date. Like
I
going
like
to the
dinner
movies.
and a movie, not just. I like dinner and a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or one of them spots where you eat all in one, and you know what I'm saying. Like I just like that. And another spot you could shoot pool after the movie. It's right there in the same thing. So I like movies and stuff like that. Is cool. We can get there an hour or two early. We can shoot some pool. They got a bar right there. If you want to drink and have some drinks, then bang, we go to the movie and we eat all in the same spot. Like I like stuff
that works.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like I like so I know what y'all mean. Just go to the movie, and then y'all sitting there and it's loud. You can't really talk. I get it,
right?
But not to just dismiss the movie. But you know, man, I'm gonna tell you this: when a woman tell me where she don't want to go, like I don't go to. Not that she don't want to go, but like she's too good to go somewhere. Like it's beneath her. Yeah, it's beneath her to go to the Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory got a freaking 7-page, 10-page menu.
And it's not cheap either.
No, it's not. Cheesecake Factory is.
You can spend $100 easy.
They got a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, but it's a turnoff when a chick act like that. In my opinion, it makes me want to take you to White Castle. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Jay, what you think?
Yeah. You know what? It's it comes from these these TikToks, these influences of they're above going to this place. So now it became a bit of an echo chamber. I remember I remember that video we covered a couple of years ago where this young lady said, "Oh, if you want to date me, you got to go pay for my Uber back and forth to the restaurant, and I don't go to these places." And she wasn't really attractive, and I'm not here to jump on the young lady or nothing, but it was just like a lot of these women that say these things, from what I know, it's a lot of the undesirables that think they're just above going to all these places.
Delusional, undesirables.
Yeah, those are pretty games. Those are pretty games. It is.
Right. Yeah, the another reason why that's such a turnoff is because that is never an issue with a woman that genuinely likes you. Like if you actually vibing and you having fun with a woman that actually likes you, they got a taco truck in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get food on the food truck and then continue the date. Or my homeboy is meeting his homegirl for drinks. You want to go downtown for some drinks? Like you can grab some food and go to another location if somebody actually likes you and the vibe is right. You know what I mean? Like so. You're right. That is a way that guys can weed out women that are not really interested in them and are dating for the wrong reasons. Because if you have to try to impress a woman on your first date, that's a real red flag that she's not really interested in you.
Yeah, man. Because we know all the time. Listen, when you listen to these here podcast women that's out here that's famous, Dr. Bryant and any of these here other women, and you actually dive into what they actually doing, it be a dude that's smashing them that ain't doing none of this stuff they saying they won't do, that they won't go for. So the point of what I'm saying is that if a chick really like you, she don't care where y'all go. She don't care what y'all do. Man, this girl here, man, she'll go do a plumbing job with you.
You're not even exaggerating or being hyperbolic. Because a lot of times, if a woman really likes you, like you said, no matter whether you go to the food truck, the hot dog stand, right? She values the time spent with you. If she's requiring that you take her to, Steak 48, she does not really like you. She wants you to compensate her for her time, basically. That's basically what she's asking you on a subconscious level.
Them the chicks I love. Women that when they just want to be around you. No, I'm saying when they just want to be around you, they don't care. Like, hey, what do you want to do? Hey, I just want to, whatever you say. Whatever you want to do, I'm cool with it. Yeah, because I just want to be with you. Them the women that I want to be with. Them other.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know why that's the best kind of woman, or at least that has that mindset, because you can put her on to stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman being around a guy that she can learn stuff from, or like I said, you can put her onto a different type of movie, or sometimes just having you there to be able to explain something to her, to explain the rules of football to her. You know what I'm saying? Like she was just chilling. She wants to be around you while you was watching the game, and you let her ask some questions. Those are the kind of moments that can form a bond where she's like, man, I hated football, but a lot of times it's because you don't understand what's going on. It just looks like a bunch of people running around and acting crazy. Like, but a woman that can actually sit there and learn from a guy from, it could be anything, his profession, one of his hobbies, something that he does. Like he explained it to her, like, yeah, I'm in a shooting league. I got a membership at a gun range. Would you ever want to go? Like just stuff that you can put a woman on. Those are things that can separate you as far as the guys that she know. No, you can never go wrong with being the type of dude she learned from.
And a lot of times, I'll tell you another thing. I'll piggyback off that real quick. And she really likes, she watches sports with you. She'll start to like the teams that you like. Hey, you're a Texas fan. She started becoming a Texas. That's why, if I be one, she said, hey, I'm a Raiders fan. I'm like, oh, well, which one of your ex-boyfriends was a Raiders fan? I actually asked something like, because you know she got that from somebody.
Yeah, if she wasn't from there, but it could have been her dad, it could have been one of her family members, but like the whole point is that a woman that has that attitude where she just enjoys your company and you enjoy hers, that's so vital to long-term success, because that's essentially what a long-term marriage is. Majority of the time, y'all are at y'all's crib or at doing your job, or like doing day-to-day things where you're not entertaining each other 24/7. Like that's not a realistic expectation to have of anybody. And so if y'all both have y'all interests, y'all have things that y'all can overlap and have a mutual interest in, that gives y'all more bonding room, and reason to continue to see each other. Because that's what it is. That's how it goes from being strangers to being somebody that's a part of your day-to-day life. So let's keep things rolling, man. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into today's topic, gauging success, and how to actually evaluate dating circumstances in today's day and age. You are tuned into the Hold a Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read, or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hold a Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled Gauging Success. We're just going to be having a conversation about how to evaluate success and failure in regards to relationships and dating. We have all these conversations online, on social media, about relationship goals, about what's a successful relationship, what's not. So I just wanted to start the conversation off with the definition of success. Now, the word success means the achievement of an aim or a purpose. And so when it comes to dating and relationships, a person's goal or what they're trying to get out of dating can vary greatly. And so I think that should always be given in the context of what is successful to that individual. What are they hoping to get out of it? And what are they actual experiences? Do either one of y'all have a different way of looking at success in regards to dating and all that?
Man, for me personally, all of it is success in my opinion, regardless of whatever happens with it, because I think that every dating situation should teach you something. They lessons, basically. So whether they're lessons for good, you really like this person and you learn, hey, it lasts for a lifetime. We get engaged, we get married, cool. If not, you learn maybe some things that you don't like. You don't like a woman that's out all the time. You don't like a man that's so flashy. You don't like a woman that can't keep her mouth in control. You don't like a man that throws temper tantrums. Like, it's always something. Just because y'all don't work out don't mean it wasn't successful. It don't mean it was successful, because the aim, the achievement of an aim or a purpose is to either get married, or you can have the purpose of still learning what not to go for later on. It can still be an achievement or a success, even though y'all didn't work out. So I think that every relationship has some type of success to it, as long as you're looking at it the right way.
I agree more in line with what SD says. I think, I guess you can look at every relationship as even if it doesn't work out, you can look at it as some sort of success to some degree. For me, and even me personally, I try to use every dating situation as a learning tool. Even just interactions I have with women in general, I try to use it as a learning tool. Figure out, okay, what works, what doesn't work. Maybe I should have did this. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Or what can I do better for the next situation?
Let me ask y'all a question. Right? Let's say you find out later on that this chick is a cheater. You find out she been cheating for the whole year y'all been together, and then boom, y'all cut this off. You were gonna propose to her and you didn't. You found this out, now you didn't get married, now you got to start over. Would you consider that a success for you, that you did not go through, propose to her and marry her? Would you think that was a success?
That's a great question. I would say
avoid a disaster. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
From that context, you could look at it
this
with
is what I'm saying.
a glass half full approach.
There's a lesson in everything, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. See, again, I guess it depends on what your goals are, because I don't know. Again, me, when I was single, I had very like a mission statement as far as what I was trying to do. I wanted to be able to consistently smash the women I found attractive without having to lie or trick or deceive them into doing it. So I'm honest about my financial status, about what I'm doing with my life, and if I can get you to rock with me enough to where we had sex, to me, that was success to me. That's how I define my success, and the way I would look at it is my rate of success. You know what I'm saying? Like compared to other dudes around or whatnot. So that would always give me the confidence that I felt like, well, if I could do that while I'm single, that'll always put me in a position if I do want to settle down or get married, because I never thought I would be married. But I gave myself that option that if I ever did decide to, it would be with the woman that I found sexually attractive and met that other criteria. So that was my kind of way of approaching it or looking at it. Even though I didn't grow up and have marriage and a family and stuff as a goal, I honestly thought that. I didn't think I could be with a woman for a long term, honestly.
Yeah, but most men don't have that as a goal. I ain't gonna say most men don't. I'm gonna say most men that are successful, really successful with women, don't have that as a goal. because I never really. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even though I grew up in a 2-parent household, parents still married, it was still never really a goal of mine. It was a goal of my sister. She's like, no, I want to get married. Blah, 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 blah. I got my dream wedding and this and that. I'm like, I ain't never even thought about
no dream wedding.
Yeah. Whereas guys that don't get women, I'm sure they think about, or it's a dream of theirs to get married, because they ain't get no Gucci. They beat off every other night. Yes, that's their dream. Because
can you think about how awkward that would be if your homeboy was like just talking to you about he can't wait to, man, I'm gonna have my tux is gonna be this color.
I ain't never heard it.
You don't even really think of that stuff until I'm sure you know.
Even
when you're doing it,
get married, I didn't know you had to choose all this stuff. I didn't know. Like my wife had bought like a wedding plan book, and you gotta go to these cakes, and you gotta do all kind of stuff that I never put up to. So you're right, girls. Well, I don't know about this generation of girls, but previously, that was their life goal, was thinking about husband and where we gonna live and what our house is gonna look like.
Terry, that's still their goal, Terry. That's still their goal. Because when you look at, I did the survey where I asked women, how many of y'all still want to get married nowadays? 98% said me. Look at who's mostly on dating sites, trying to find love, on Kendra G, was going to Kevin Samuel. All of these here things, it's mostly women that are trying to find love and get married. It is every woman's dream, just about, unless they're a bull dagger. Then maybe not. But the straight ones, yeah, but the straight ones is what I'm saying. 99% of them, it's their dream to get married, Terry. The other stuff is just
okay. Let me say that. Well,
go ahead.
I think that the goal has shifted from trying to find love to trying to secure financial success from a man. Like, to me, that goal is not the same. Like, that's a different goal where long as I can find this lame dude and get him to pay all my bills or pay off my debt or take care of my kids, that's success for a lot of women, in my opinion.
But it's still, the ultimate thing is still the marriage, though. Now, I will agree with you that the reasons has changed. The reasons have changed a lot. And a lot of it is because they weren't groomed to be wives. They weren't groomed to be wives. So now the reason of, hey, I want to build a family. I want to have a good man and take care of my man. That used to be the thing. Hey, I want to be that woman for a man. Now it's more of, hey, I want to do this so what I can gain from it. Not that we can build together as a unit, but how can I gain from it? You know what? Yes, I'm making all this money, but I want him to make all this money so I can save my money and spend his money. You know what I'm saying? It's a different thing now. But the goal of marriage is still there. That's why women talk about other women when they ain't married. She ain't got no ring, or you ain't got no ring. Yes, they come out on social media and applaud nonsense from these here women out here, but deep down they all still want to get married. Yep. Yeah, I don't care what they say, they want to get married, bro. So the goal is still there. They just going about it wrong. They don't know how to actually get it, especially in our community.
So let me ask y'all this. So for a guy that is out here in the dating market and he's using all the F-boy material, he's using money, he's using flash, he's using glitz and glamour to attract women. If he's able to successfully get women to sleep with him, even if it's for a couple of weeks or a couple of months at a time, would y'all consider that success?
Yeah, that's his thing. Like,
I mean, if it's his goal, I would say, yeah. If that's his goal and he's achieving it, hey. I mean, right, wrong, or different, you could say it's a success.
Yeah, it's like a woman whose goal is to get dudes to spend money and pay for things. Hey, if she can get it, it's successful to her.
So then everybody's successful then, like.
No, what you mean?
I guess you can't say that because I guess it's like only the unattractive people are the ones that are failing. Because anybody that. Any woman that's attractive is gonna be able to get men to spend money on her.
Yeah, but it ain't for a lot of these here for attractive women. Not all of them. Having a dude spending money on them ain't the goal. The goal is to find a good dude that'll marry him. So they don't even value the guy that's gonna spend the money on them. That's not success for them. That they got 100 dudes in their DMs. That's trying to give them money and send them cash out because that ain't what they want. They don't value that. Yeah, so it depends on the value system and what they actually want when they step out here into the dating market. It depends on if they're successful or not. We just can't look at it as a whole and be like, oh, okay, well, the pretty women got this, because she might not even want that. Every woman wants a dude that's financially stable. Every woman wants that. But not every woman is looking for a trick. Even if she's pretty.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I guess no, I was gonna it was on the tip of my tongue what I was about to say. With the women that are not looking to actually, have a guy finesse on them. If they are so when we're talking about women in their late 30s or their early 40s, so if they have never been able to get a man that meets their criteria to marry them, Is it fair to say that they failed at dating or failed at their
Yes.
opportunities?
Yes. Yes, it is.
All right, I thought
Because-
she was about to give them a pass, but I thought she was gonna say they were
No.
successful from learning.
No, if they no, because like in my mind, and I'll put it like this: if she got one body or two, maybe I'll say, hey, she learned something and it was a success. But if she got 25, 30 bodies at 35, 40 years old and nobody wanted to marry you and that was your goal, you failed. You mean to tell me you opened up yourself to all these men and none of them wanted to marry you and that's your goal? You failed, sweetheart. But if you got one or two and then you stop, you like, no, I want to get married. And now that's the reason why a lot of dudes don't get into it with you, because most men gonna want to test drive the car before they actually, you know what I'm saying, pay for it. And now men aren't doing it. Yes, you succeeded. You succeeded in cutting off and not being involved with a bunch of losers. You succeeded in keeping your body count down and your mental in order. You
not
succeeded.
A bunch of baby daddies.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you succeeded even though you aren't married. So again, it depends. It depends. I know I'm giving these here answers, but it is what it is, man.
Hey, well, how soon is too soon to share your relationship goals with somebody? If a woman is bringing this up on her first date, would that be considered a red flag?
I don't think it is considered a red flag. I mean, because I think these are things you want to know right out the gate. Is what are her dating goals or aspirations? What is she, what is it she's looking for? Because you want to see if you have interest in potentially pursue something longer term with the person or not. So I think I would want to know up front. What about you, SD?
I don't think so. I think it's not necessarily. Again, I think it's a red flag. I gotta put this in there.
Mr. on the fence.
Yeah, because it depends. If she is talking to you, I've had women do this. You know what I'm saying? Where they like, oh, I can see us having at least a kid or two, and I'm like, yo, hold on, I just met you.
That's a red flag.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So in that case, yes, if she's speaking directly to me, oh, we should go get married over in Vegas, and I'm like, yo, slow down, right? But if she is generally speaking about, yes, one day, I would like to be married and have a child one day, like that's just something that I would like to do.
Okay.
What about you? Where it's a general conversation, now it's cool. You're not putting the man on the defense, because once you start talking to me personally about us and I don't know you, now of course them red flags going off in my mind, like this gonna be our last date, sweetheart. You just don't know it.
That would make me not want to sleep with a chick. Like I remember, some chick like pulled my hair, like, oh, you got curly hair. Our son would have. Like it shifted my whole. It shifted my whole goal of trying to smash shorty. Like that always.
I'm telling you.
Oh man.
Because it puts in your mind like, man, this chick got some screws loose. Why she talking about this and I don't know her? If I smash her, I'm gonna knock about 8 more screws loose in this woman. No way. Yeah. I don't want to do it. So I get you. I 100%. I've been there. I think most men have that's been out here, and I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole, personally.
Yeah. So what? I know that you said that earlier that any situation or any long-term relationship is a learning experience. But when we see people that have been in long-term marriages, they get divorced. I guess the way that I kind of view whether it was successful or a failure is not necessarily whether they stayed together till death, but kind of how the breakup happens. Like if they just can agree and separate and agree to move on respectfully, like there's mutual respect there. There's not this, like Papoose and Remy, like this chaotic smear campaign. We got to put everything on social media. Like to me, that's a sign of a failed marriage. A marriage where they realize that they goals are different or they grew apart and they did it respectfully. I could consider that successful.
Yeah, I guess, man, but I mean, I hear a lot of, divorced married men, you know, be like, hey, at least I didn't spend another 5 years in this trash relationship. You know what I'm saying? They be like, at least I ain't spent another 5 years in this relationship. So they look at it like on that side, like, man, I didn't waste no more time. Like, it's a success because it was good while it lasted. It was cool. But now I get to cut it off right here and start new and start over. So I mean, man, it all depends, man, on what you lost, how you feel based off of it. Because some people be destroyed by relationships that long. Some people
absolutely.
do. So
Yeah.
it depends.
Yeah. But I guess as it pertains to imagine divorce, was a success or not. I guess it's relative to the person that you're talking to, right? Like you said, the person you talked to said, well, at least I wasn't with her for another 5 years. I feel like that. I guess he felt like that could have been 5 years wasted. So I guess he said, hey, at least success, I can go on, move on with my life, and potentially find somebody else in those 5 years that I could have spent with her. So I guess, but like you said, some people, it breaks people, and some people don't take that too well and consider it a complete failure.
Yeah, I guess one thing that really has to be taken into consideration is that just kind of I just thought about is the people that realize that their relationship was built on a lie. You know what I mean? Like the guy who finds out the kids ain't his after they grow. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that where the man lied about his identity. She find out he got 4 other kids. You know what I'm saying? Years into the marriage and whatnot. So I guess you can give a pass to anybody who was led with deception in a relationship, because I can't see nobody that they whole situations were built on a lie, feeling like they had success from it.
Somebody owe me some money if them kids ain't mine. I'm tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, somebody owe me some money, man, and I'm gonna get that money one way or another. But in that case, I probably think of it, as not a success, man. I done spent all this time and this money, and I find out that I seen a meme on it with a dude, the wife died, and something happened with the kids where they did an ancestry. All of them did an ancestry.com. It was 3 of them, and they thing was saying they not even built the same. Like none of their stuff matched up. And the kids were not his kids. That's how he found out. They went and did a DNA test and found out that the kids wasn't even his kids. It was like 3 of them, but the wife had died. Like, damn. That's tough, man.
That's real tough. So you find out years after the fact, and in the most random way possible.
Hey man, you got to go dig that heifer up. Listen here, we got to talk. We got to talk. We got
to
talk.
That's crazy, bro. Like,
hey, when I get to the other side, me and her having a sit down. That's right now. Crazy. Come on in here, Jesus. You got to mediate this, Jesus, because I might have to slap the dog mess out of Shorty in here. Because man, listen, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, when you hearing about some of these worst case scenarios, like I tell y'all, my wife watched this murder channel, and they talk about spouses that poison their spouses, and all kind of
for life insurance money, all types of stuff.
Yeah, man, I see that kind of stuff at work too. What the lengths people will go to for money. And it is crazy. You know what I mean? Like to people will target you and spend years, have kids with you, all in a ploy to get access to your finances. It's a real trifling game out here, man. So I guess you right. A real good way to try to view your relationship is from the absence of a negative. I think that's the best way to give everybody the best perspective, and improve the kind of the morale of dating, because there are so many people that just feel like it's just such a toxic environment because of what's displayed on social media, that I think they may be cutting off a lot of opportunities that they have in real life that could potentially lead to something. Yeah. All right, man. looks like we up against the clock, so we about to be getting up out of here, man. But before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast or our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Hold the Husband Podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.